Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. K Talks Tech YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to see about what is integration runtime, what is link service connection, and what is the datasets. So in the last video we have seen a quick overview of the Azure Data Factory Studio where we explored the different tabs available in Azure Data Factory Studio and what are the functionalities that we could do with each of those tabs. So in the previous video, I haven't explained about these three concepts, which is the integration runtime, link service connection, and the datasets, because I said like it's the most important concepts in Azure Data Factory. So that's the reason I'm making this video as a separate one to concentrate more on these three important topics with an example. Cool. Let's get started. The first thing is what is integration runtime? So integration runtime is a compute infrastructure for data integration. We all know that Azure Data Factory is mainly used for data integration. So for example, if Azure Data Factory needs to connect to a different data source for data integration, it needs a kind of a compute power to make that integration possible, right? So this compute power can be obtained using the integration runtime. So there are three types of integration runtime. The first one is Azure Integration Runtime, and then we have self-hosted integration runtime, and finally we have SSIS integration runtime. So Azure Integration Runtime is mainly used for connecting to a cloud-based data sources. For example, if Azure Data Factory needs to connect to a Azure Data Lake, we all know that Azure Data Lake is a product of Azure, which means that it is a cloud-based tool, right? So since it is a cloud-based tool, then we need to use Azure Integration Runtime for making that data integration possible. So the next one is the self-hosted integration runtime. So this is mainly used for connecting to a on-premise data source. For example, if Azure Data Factory needs to connect to a on-premise SQL database, so we need to use the self-hosted integration runtime. So this is kind of an application where you could install this as a package in the on-premise system. So after installing this package, then the Azure Data Factory will have a necessary kind of connection properties to able to connect to the on-premise database. So the next one is SSIS integration runtime. So this is like most related to the executing the on-premise SSIS packages in Azure. You can kind of fully migrate the on-premise SSIS packages to Azure and execute that using this integration runtime. So let me give you a quick overview of this integration runtime using the Azure portal. So as you can see here, I am in the Azure Data Factory that we created earlier. So if I go to the Manage tab, under the connection settings, you will be seeing something called Integration Runtime. So if I click on this Integration Runtime, as you can see here, we have Auto Resolve Integration Runtime, which is a type Azure. So this is the Azure Integration Runtime, which we saw earlier. This is the default one. So when you actually create the Azure Data Factory, this integration runtime will be created automatically. And to create any new integration runtime, there is an option called New over here. So if you click on this new button over here, as you can see here, we have the three integration runtime that we discussed earlier. We have Azure Integration Runtime, we have a self-hosted integration runtime, and we have Azure SSIS integration runtime. I guess now you have a rough idea about like what integration runtime means in Azure Data Factory. So this is like basically giving a compute infrastructure for making the Azure Data Factory to connect to different data sources. So the next topic is what is a link service connection? So the link service connection is a connection properties that you'll be using to connect to different data sources. So for example, even if you want to connect to your database, you need to specify a connection string, the username and the password to actually connect to the data source, right? So the link service is kind of similar to that. It is like giving the connection properties to actually making that connection successful with the data source. So in Azure Data Factory, there are more than 85 inbuilt link service connection available. For example, if Azure Data Factory needs to connect to your data lake, we have a link service connection specifically for connecting to the data lake. So Microsoft is actually increasing this link service connection. For example, every year some new link service connection has been added to the Azure Data Factory, which is really cool. So one of the most important point in link service connection is actually to create a link service connection, you need to have an integration runtime. Let's see how this link service looks like in the Azure portal. Cool. So now we are in the Azure Data Factory Studio. As you can see here, I'm under the Manage tab. And if I go to the link service connection, which is under connection properties, so if I click on the link service, and there will be an option to create a new link service connection. So if I click on this new icon over here, So these are the different connections which I mentioned before, like there are more than 85 link service connection available inside the Azure Data Factory. So these are available in different categories. For example, if you click on Azure over here, you can see all the services which are related to the Azure. And also there are some database link service connections available. As you can see here, there are a lot of database connection as well. For example, if you want to create a new link service connection, so for example, if I go to Azure and if I click on Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 connection, and if I click on continue, so as you can see here, this is how we can create a new link service connection. And if you see over here, you will see like connect via integration runtime, where we can specify the integration runtime to create this link service connection. So by default, this auto resolve integration runtime, which is the Azure integration runtime, gets selected. So this is the important thing, like we need to have an integration runtime to actually create a new link service connection. Cool. So this is the most important point over here. As mentioned before, we need an integration runtime to actually create a new link service connection. Cool. Now let's go to the next part, which is the datasets. So the datasets is pretty straightforward and simple. It is the structure or format of the data. So coming back to our example, if you want to connect to your data source, you need to have a compute. That's what we get from the integration runtime, right? So after getting the compute, then we give the connection properties and then we can connect to the data source. That's what we are doing using the link service connection. So now we have connected to the data source. Now we need to specify in what format we are going to get the data from the data source. So that format is called datasets. So the most important point in datasets is you need to have a link service connection to actually create a dataset. So this is the important point over here. So we have already seen, like, to create a link service connection, we need an integration runtime, right? Similarly, to create a datasets, we need a link service connection. Cool. Now let's see how we can create a new datasets in Azure Data Factory. Cool. So if I hit cancel over here in the link service connection, so to create a datasets, we need to go to the author tab. So if I click on the author tab, there is an option called datasets over here. So to create a new datasets, there is a plus icon over here. I will click on this and there will be an option to create a datasets. Cool. So to create a datasets, first you need to specify what is the data source. So for example, if you're going to the Azure and clicking on the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 and hit on continue, as you can see here, now we have a different format to select from. So we have Avro, binary, delimited text, which is a CSV format, and all other different types of format. So if I click on the CSV format and if I click on continue, as you can see here, we can see a new section called link service. So we need to specify this link service connection to actually create a new data set. So we need to specify in which data source you are actually creating a data set. Cool. That's the reason we need to specify the link service connection over here. Cool. That's pretty much for datasets. So we have seen three concepts here: the integration runtime, the link service connection, and also the datasets. So to connect to any data source, the first step would be choosing the right integration runtime specific to that data source. And after choosing the integration runtime, then we can create a link service connection using the integration runtime. And after creating the link service connection, then we can create a dataset using that link service connection. So this is the flow: the integration runtime being the highest level, then the link service connection, and then the datasets. I think now you have an idea about all these three concepts, which is the most important topics in Azure Data Factory. Let's understand this better with an example. Cool. Let's see what is the example is. So consider there is a source and there is a destination. So the source being the Azure Data Lake and also the destination being an Azure Data Lake. So the use case for this is you need to copy the data from source and put the data into the destination. Pretty simple, right? So to perform this, we are using the Azure Data Factory. Cool. So as discussed before, to here the data factory needs to connect to the source, get the data, and then copies the data to the destination. So the first step would be the Azure Data Factory to connect to the source. To make that connection possible, the first step would be creating the integration runtime. So what would be the integration runtime for this? As you can see here, the source being the Azure Data Lake, which is the cloud-based tool. Here the integration runtime will be the Azure integration runtime. So after selecting the integration runtime, then we need to create a link service connection, which would be the second step. So the link service connection that we'll be using is the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 connection. So we just saw like how we can create a link service connection using the Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So after creating the link service connection, specifying the connection details, then the next step would be creating the data sets. We need to specify in which format you are going to copy the data from the source. So I'm going to go with the CSV format over here as the datasets type. So finally, after configuring all the integration runtime link service and the datasets, we're having the final datasets that can be used in the Azure Data Factory copy data activity. So to perform the copy activity, the Azure Data Factory should also connect to the destination data source to make this copy activity possible. So we need to do the same set of things that we did for the source data lake, like setting up the integration runtime, link service, and the dataset in the destination Azure Data Lake as well. So as seen before, the first step would be choosing the right integration runtime. Since the destination is also the Azure Data Lake, we'll be going with the Azure Integration Runtime. So after choosing the integration runtime, we'll be creating the link service connection, which is quite same as the source, which is the Data Lake Gen 2 connection. Then after creating the link service connection, we'll be going with creating the datasets, which is also the CSV format in the destination. Cool. So now we have set all the connection details in the source and the destination. Now what we can do is, using the Azure Data Factory, we can create a copy data activity where it needs two information, like it needs a source data set and also the destination data set. So the first step would be getting the source details, which is the source data sets. And after getting the source data set, then we need to set the destination in the activity, which is the destination data set. So once this activity is set up in the Azure Data Factory, and we can create a pipeline out of the activity, and if we run the pipeline, Azure Data Factory will copy the data from source in the CSV format and put that data into the destination data lake, which will be in the CSV format as well. So I think now you have a clear idea about like what is the main use of integration runtime, link service connection, and the data sets. So now we have seen a use case of copying the data from one data lake to another data lake. So for example, if you want to copy the data from an on-premise database, so in this scenario, if for example, if the source is MySQL database, which is a on-premise database, then what are the different things that will be changing here is the first thing is the integration runtime, right? So the integration runtime for connecting to the on-premise data source is the self-hosted integration runtime. So we'll be using the self-hosted integration runtime to actually connect to the on-premise database, which is the MySQL database in the example here. So after choosing the self-hosted integration runtime, the next step would be creating a link service connection. Here we can create a link service connection using a MySQL connector, which is available inbuilt inside the Azure Data Factory. So we can use the self-hosted integration runtime to actually create this link service connection. So once this link service connection has been created, then we have to create a datasets. Here the datasets can be a table format. Since the data source being a database, Azure Data Factory supports datasets in table format, which is quite easy to actually connect to the source, get the data in a table format. So these are the only changes that requires when you're actually copying the data from the on-premise database instead of a cloud-based data source. So you need to set up all these three things while doing any kind of data integration with any of the data sources using the Azure Data Factory. So in the next video, let's see how we can create a copy data activity pipeline in Azure Data Factory Studio using the same example that we have seen here using the Azure portal in a demo. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please like, share, and subscribe if you really enjoyed the content, and see you in another great video. Until then, cheers. Bye.